In fact, my friend Jenny, I don't know if you remember Jenny, who I had for 17 years, Stuart said, listen, I got some puppies, and I have one that looks like a, it's a white thing. And I said, what do you name it? What do you call it? He says, Pulpa. Why do you call it Pulpa? He says, because it looks like a Pulpa bear. So I named her Jenny. I had her for 17 years, and it was the sister of his dog. So we had, but I mean, we go back so far, I don't even remember. I remember getting stoned at the Troubadour up at the office, you know. I remember sitting around with Jeff Wall and Stuart, and I had just come back from England where there was a new musical play called Jesus Christ Superstar, and I had a big like 33 and I was playing it overall, having a joke in Laurel Canyon, and sitting there, and suddenly Jeff, I don't know how to lie, it comes on, and Jeff says to Helen in the kitchen, Helen, I found your single.
You know, his parents out here.
Was Helen Reddy's first single? Bruce Davison. Chris! Of course, how are you? I mean, we just
You know, you got gray hair now.
Yeah, good to see you.
You guys are talking, we didn't even realize.
We all go. We go back into a plot that's so long ago it all melted together.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
So good to see you, man. Yes, you love me so much.
I'm Pamela.
Hi, Pamela.
Oh, hey, Joe.
Like man.
So the tent isn't real effective.
Pardon?
I said the tent isn't real effective.
Well, yeah, the sun's lost his
Heirloom. Yeah.
Still remember Willard.
Oh, man. In fact,
We
I was
talked
just,
about Willard.
you know, I gotta say, yesterday I was at the Valhalla Cemetery because for the first time, Elsa Manchester in 40 years has finally been given a plaque, you know, to part of the cemetery there. And I got to speak with that because she played my mother in Willard.
Oh, amazing.
She said, when the director is giving you a load of Cogswallop, say, oh, that's very interesting. Let me try to incorporate that into what I'm doing, then do whatever the bloody hell you want.
Amazing. Amazing to me. We're all.
Yeah.
Well, I take good care of
We
you.
are here.
I'll take credit. No, seriously. He eats so well and he exercises. That's the only ally of Parkinson's is exercise.
That's right.
He's got a very good doctor. He hasn't really declined in 5 years. No, Ed, yes.
Well, I got other afflictions.
You look good. You look healthy.
All done with
The compliment to Parkinson is also going deaf and blind.
Well, I am deaf in one ear.
I'm deaf and blind.
It's no fun. Do you wear hearing aids?
Yes, and that's doing it. You can buy it. Still get maybe 10%.
Aren't they awful? The problem is with the hearing aid, I can't tell what people are saying. It just makes
well, it's
things
because all the
louder.
B's
This
and the
ear works.
S's and the T's go. So, which is what I hear too.
Well, I'm only 70% deaf, but it feels like 100. The hearing aid's out.
Yeah. and stuff.
So how deaf are you?
I hear every third word and try to make sense of it.
So you're not acting?
I do act.
Because you're so phenomenal. You don't remember me making babies. We hang out a lot.
I remember now.
You know, yeah, and the bar
You
scene.
mentioned that earlier. I remember.
But you were so talented. Yeah.
Very lucky. It's charming. Very nice. For weeks on end before I go in, so I can't help but control myself.
That's smart.
Yeah, me too.
Are you acting?
Yeah, but I've got to work.
For me.
I've got to work my ass off. Short-term memory. And all this legal stuff. I always ask them. So, you know, I can work on it for days in 10 minutes.
Chris has a lot of trouble with short-term memory.
Yeah, well, that's it. But, you know, you write them out. Cue cards. Everybody my age I know works off a teleprompter.
Well, that's why Jack was very Nicholson.
I was blind. I knew the
Couldn't
telephone.
remember the lines anymore.
Flight leaves Monday
I
afternoon.
can't see the line. So I got to learn.
That's a good time.
Which is fine. I can do it. I just need to.
Yeah, I mean, luckily you had a long background. Luckily, you couldn't start acting now with those problems.
And they're very kind to an old man. They know not to change the lines a lot. Used to be to change the lines. I go, okay, I can do that new line.
Now, don't change the script. Of course, you can always improv too. They probably allow that.
If I can do the other actors the same, that's really
Well, I want you on Facebook tomorrow
Stem cell.
talking about
Stem cell.
Yeah, I tried a few things. I just tried a few frogs. I found a few things. What's really worked for me is hyperbaric chamber, something called NAD, something called glutathione.
So that did help you.
A lot. Exercise at the gym every day.
My lifelong friend, Dr. Zanetti, started that. He has offered us to come into Chicago and get it for free because if there's somebody monitoring you, like you know what I mean, if you're in an individual, where do you go? Is there places that don't even let
Help with heroin there, unfortunately, a lot. They call Nick. Yeah, right there, from one and then two. Yep. That's very good. Certain things like NAD, I was completely hostile to it. My wife had all these things she was finding on the internet. Some of them didn't work. This dude had created this thing called NAD I never heard of. I went and did it for 3 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. What a bunch of bullshit. I'm never doing this again. Why did you waste my time? Wait a minute. I'm walking back to my car. I walked from my car.
that fast. Wow.
Like a dramatic knot, tried it 3 times. I tried to turn it way into the NAD wipe out my skirt on solo. On the way in, on the way out. Always better than the way out. So, quantifiably helps NAD for a long time. We have a lot of friends in common. Get my email, get my phone number.
Do you have a car? I feel like begging you guys to get my
I can't get to it now,
Make you my first
but I'll get to the car in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Got my wallet. When I do stand up, I'll be in my car.
Okay, excellent.
I'm sure I'll be I'm pretty good. I'm a little bit stuff
So do you have an agent as an actor?
Yes. Yes, I have an agent and a manager. So I pay everything I make to both of them.
See, I just work on my own, and I never had any of that. And I didn't start until I retired from Delta as a flight attendant. I didn't start acting until I retired from Delta as a flight attendant. But I couldn't stop it, you know. I wasn't serious about it. It just kind of started as a hobby, and then I kept getting bumps, and then I became Screen Actors Guild. Right. So now I'm shooting my very first film. With John Barrymore. I'm sorry. I got some very nice actors. In my film, John Barrymore.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's in my film. Oh, he was phenomenal. Yeah, he was phenomenal. Oh, he's doing great. Oh, everybody was like loved him on set. He's such a nice person. And he really brought his A game too. It's only short, but I mean, and Ken Phillips, you know him, Dallas and Dynasty. Ken Phillips. Yeah, so I had a requirement. You had to be in your 60s or 70s to be in my film.
Well, I was right.
That's how I got the great male stuff before.
Well,
It's all
I'm playing the old psychos now. Evil Republicans.
I saw Philip Noyce.
They're always the hardest part because I got the most dialogue.
And I said, oh, my God, it's the same age. And he says, no, I just don't sleep.
So are you still into ads? Are you still into the alternative, like bicycling?
I ride a stationary bike. My wife.
No, I'm talking about to get the power.
I don't have that hooked up anymore. I learned that from Jackson Brown through a girlfriend's art opening. And she spent an adventure together. They had it on permanent loan for 7 years ago. I don't need it back.
Is it permanent loan? One of those, do someone a favor.
It's more a gimmick than anything. But it works. You're right in the light.
I don't know, I found that as a documentary you did or something
Yeah,
10 years ago.
we had a reality show for years.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
3 years.
Well, this is beautiful. He's really sad. You know, he lived with Stuart for a while.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be starting shortly. We're going to try to accommodate some of you by providing you with more chairs. And we're going to bring a speaker system up here so everybody will not have an issue hearing. So just be a few more moments and appreciate your patience.
No, I want to go in the shade anyway. I'm going to get up and go in the shade.
My face I always do, like every morning in my life, thank God, but I didn't put anything anywhere else. Oh, and I usually don't wear something more colors. Oh, I'm not? Oh, okay.
Van Dyke. Got Van Dyke?
Yeah.
Chris Crosby. I was thinking about you today.
I got him a chair in the shade, so make sure we come say hi after the I'm Elizabeth. Nice to see you.
I'm Chris.
Nice to meet you.
I'm good to hear you. I'm Pam.
Pam, I love Stuart too. I was once a week when I was a teenager. We lived in
Wonderful man. Big heart.
kind of shock. I mean, so nice to meet you.
Okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, is that on? Just make sure that we are volume, maybe? Volume? No, the other. Ladies and gentlemen, our service today honoring the memory of Stuart Lerner will begin momentarily. Before we start, I ask very kindly that you place your cell phones and any other electronic devices in their silent or off positions as to not to interrupt. This would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Dave said I'm about to start the service.
Can't hear you, Sam.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Closer to you, sure. Mm-hmm. Go. A little closer, actually. There you go, sir.
Okay. Dave mentioned we're about to start a service. My cousin Stuart didn't actually plan for a service. So this is going to be a service with a small s, not a big S. I'm going to make a speech, and anyone else who might want to come up and say something, they'll be welcome to at the end. Can't hear me. Eat it? Should it be here in front of me?
No, no, no.
Let me help you out here.
Yeah, help me out.
I got you.
Okay.
Hold on, we're gonna do this. There you go. There you go.
Oh,
Okay, is that comfortable for you?
Very good.
And just get your lips right on that.
I never ate anything like this,
I
so
know,
I can't say.
You want a
So,
little
yeah,
salt
yeah,
and
I
pepper?
don't-
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't want to say yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Back there? Yeah. Okay, basically I said Stuart didn't leave a whole lot of directions for his demise. I don't think he expected it. So he didn't plan much. There's no rabbi, there's no official chaplain. He asked me to say a few words. I don't know if he expected this big turnout, but it's great. So I'm going to say good afternoon. I'm happy to see such a nice turnout for my cousin, Stuart Lerner. For those of you that don't know, I'm Stuart's first cousin. My name's Sam Seelig. Stuart's mother, Betty, buried here, and my mother, Lillian, buried right behind her over there.
You're talking to the microphone. There you go.
Damn. Okay. And Lillian, buried over there, were two of 5 sisters that all grew up in an orphanage in New York City. Our mothers could not have been more different. Betty fancied herself a sophisticated and worldly woman. As a result, she took Stuart to Broadway plays, avant-garde movies, museums, and cultural events. She dressed him up from a clothing store on Austin Street in Forest Hills, New York, called Beau Brummel. According to my sister, Aunt Betty even dressed Stuart like little Lord Fauntleroy when he was young. I was going to say it's an old reference. Many of you may not understand, but yeah, I guess some of us are his contemporaries. Great. It wasn't pretty, I'll tell you that. Aunt Betty promoted Stuart's passion for the world of the performing arts. Making music, theater, sports, acting, all part of his life interests. Stuart and I grew up in close proximity, our lives shadowing each other in our early years and as young adults. His favorite activities as a child, as a young boy, were wrestling and going to the schoolyards to play basketball. First, the wrestling. He and I would wrestle until submission whenever we got together, each trying to claim victory. Unfortunately for us, we were what you would affectionately call bleeders. One of us would invariably get an intractable bloody nose or hemorrhage from a split forehead. We managed to hurt each other 100 different ways. It was fun. It was fun. We were eventually shut down by our mothers. But basketball remained an outlet for Stuart. He had a system, a plan. We always tried to play on the same team. I would drive to the basket and then dish the ball back to Stu out in the periphery. He would then take his famous set shot from the outside. He loved to shoot. He never met a shot he didn't like. Truth be told, he had a great outside shot. I'll give him that. The point of this, it broke his heart when he could no longer be physically active, play basketball, swim, navigate the world easily. His injuries and surgeries and medical problems had taken their toll. It broke my heart too. This may be a surprise to everybody, but Stuart was a genius. No doubt. No doubt. He graduated high school at 16 years of age. He crushed college in 3 years. He danced through medical school. He found a calling as a psychiatrist and ended up practicing his gift on the West Coast, to the luck of many of you. I don't have to tell the people here how special he was. You all know that. What I can tell you is that he genuinely cared about all the people he treated. He embodied kindness and compassion. He loved to listen and loved to talk. Oh boy. Did he love to talk? There is a reason his email address reads expander_SL, SL being his initials. He not only talked, he listened. And at the end of the day, he made people think. He helped people feel. He made people well. He helped make people better. He was a healer. He was an expander. Stuart, you are loved, and you will be sorely missed. I would be remiss if I didn't give a special thank you to Stuart's companion, Kim Twong, for her tender care during the good times and the difficult times that Stuart had to endure. I love you, Stuart. We're sending you off with a few items in the casket. Your sobriety chip of 41 years was delivered to him on the day he died in the ICU. Remarkably, the same day, his brand new U.S. passport came in the mail. I'm going to put it in his casket to help him on whatever journey he will be on after this. And a special gift was given to him from Veronica and her son, and that is also included with him in the coffin. Stuart, I will see you on the other side, guaranteed. I love my cousin. He was a character. He was peculiar. He was loving. He was talkative. I'll tell the story, I'm ad-libbing now, of my last lunch with him at his house. He would ask me to go to a deli and pick up a corned beef sandwich, lean, with coleslaw, on twice-baked rye bread. Very specific. And of course, his Diet Coke. And we were having lunch, and he was talking away. And I was just listening. But I knew we weren't going to have this many more conversations. He was becoming frail. It was so upsetting to me. So I said, Stuart, you've got to stop just a second. My back is killing me. My back is killing me. And he said, why is your back killing you? You're sitting in a chair. I said, my back is killing me from picking up all those names you're dropping. I guess you all talk to him a lot, huh? Anyway, he knows I love him. He left me with a big responsibility, which I will chase and try to do as best I can. And that's my little speech. Who else would like to say something? There you go, Sean. Thank you. Hey, you got to eat that.
What's that? Oh. All right. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. I see a lot of faces out here. Everybody here, Stuart touched your lives in one way or another. He was the most incredible man I had ever met in my life. He taught me so much. He wasn't my biological father, but he raised my brother and I, Steve. he met my mother. She came over here to do a film, and we were living, I think, in Beverly Hills, and I think he met her actually in the ER. I think she overdosed. And that's how they met. Carol White, that was my mother. So they got married. They lived together for about a year. They got divorced after a year. We went back to England. My mother had a film over there. We went back. I was, I think, 10 or 11. And she was off doing her film, and she was partying and with different rock stars and all this stuff. And my brother and I were left alone, and we started taking pills and drinking. And the one person we knew who to call was Stuart. That man said, you know what, you guys come and live with me. I'm gonna raise you. And he took us in. He loved us unconditionally. He pretty much raised us on his own. He had nannies for us. We were very difficult to raise. I mean, especially my brother. If you guys know Steve, who by the way passed away on June of this year. But he took us in without hesitation. He opened his home and his heart to us. From that moment on, he became the father in every way that mattered. Professionally, he was a psychiatrist, but that title only scratches the surface of who he truly was. He helped countless people through addiction, mental illness, deep pain, and I saw all the success stories. I saw people that he worked with that were just a fucking basket case, and now they're like famous and making tons of money and successful, and he had a huge part in that. He had an incredible mind and even more a remarkable heart. This year has been really difficult for us. I'm sure you guys all know that his house burned down at Malibu in January. It was the house that he raised my brother and I in, and it meant a lot to us. After that happened, he wasn't the same. He lost everything. All the pictures, all the memorabilia he had. But, he's strong. He went on and he did the best he could. But he was always in bad health. He had tons of surgeries. But his mind was always sharp, always, through all of it. Yeah. I will miss him so much. All I want to do is make him proud of the man I've become today. I feel like I wouldn't even be the person I am. I have had my own problems. I've suffered with addiction, but I've stayed strong, and he was the guy I always talked to for advice. As long as it was between 3:45 or 4:45 and 4:30 Thursday, even I had to schedule an appointment with him. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. But anyway, I want to carry on all the lessons he gave me, all his wisdom, his warmth, his memories, and I just want to make him proud. I've got my son Spencer. I don't know where he is, but he loves Spencer so much. And I have my wife over there, Sharon, who we got divorced a while ago, but now we're best friends. And then wonderful Kim, who has been there for him these last days, and they were very close, and she's a huge part of the family now. And I just want to thank every single one of you here, and I want to let you know that he loved everybody and he cared about you guys so much. And if If any of you guys want to come up here and tell your stories, I'd love that. And thank you all for being here.
I'll get up.
I'm off already. Keep it moving. Yeah, we're all here for Stuart. You know, we all have great, fun stories about him. You know, and his timing. He phoned me every Sunday, around about 5 o'clock, depending when whatever team he was watching finished. And it was so great because it would go on, and we'd go all around the houses, you know, this, that. Anyway, I had this habit when sort of 45 minutes is enough of anything for me. So we're doing it, and I would just put the phone down, and he never got upset, you know. But you know, the other side is that he was a kind guy, and he helped a lot of people. And you know, he took the time, mainly because of his disease of listening and talking. You know, he loved that, and he put it on to other people too. And there's a lot of people here today who remember him when he first saw them, and he'd go and say hi. But I met him in the 70s, so I think he had that fuzzy haircut then. But anyway, a friend of mine, Harry, introduced me, and we sort of were on and off together. I used to do a thing at home. If we had lunch for 10, 12 people, he was one of them. And I'd say, okay, lunch is 1 till 5. And every time we had one, I'd have to take him by the arm and show him the door. And he would talk all the way to the door. But anyway, I love the man, and it's great. He loved this, you know. You know, he's probably got his ear to the wood here, making sure he doesn't miss anything. So, Ian, are you getting up now?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Come on, get up. We got to do it. We know how to do it.
Thanks. Everything I remember about Stuart. I first met Stuart.
Get on the mic.
I first met Stuart
Yeah.
50 years ago in a restaurant called
I was talking about you.
It was on Sunset, opposite what used to be Tower Records, and next to what is now a very dubious vaping place. It was unique because it was trying to sell plant-based foods and organic food. How ironic that I met Stuart in a health food restaurant. A man whose diet for the next 50 years was steak, tuna tartare, deli food, pasta and pizza, washed down by 4 Diet Cokes. I have calculated, Stuart, that over 50 years, that's 67,200 bottles. ICU was waiting with open arms. So first impressions, he seemed to me to be lanky, but it was, maybe it was just because he was tall and skinny. His hair was a stranger to a comb. He was very, very talkative, and he knew a lot of famous people. When I told him that I was from London, he reeled off a whole list of people that he knew. Great. All of them were famous. I'm amazed the British royal family never made the cut. Yes, he liked famous people. He loved their company and their recognition. And looking around here, he would be very, very pleased. What else have I got to say about this dear boy? He liked famous people. He liked famous people. He liked noisy dinner parties. He liked restaurants. He liked hospitality lounges. He liked gossip, Ringo's All-Stars and the Lakers. He loved his sons and his grandson and your wives and everyone in that family. He really did. He loved them, and of course his patients, who took precedence over everything. He was always there. I can't remember, he hardly ever traveled. I think his last trip was with Jeff and Camelia and I to New York for Rich's 70th. Otherwise, Stuart wanted to be on call. He wanted to be there for the forlorn and the desperate and the depressed. And let's not forget, as Sean said, Stuart went through all that shit himself during his addiction. And in recovery, he went through enormous professional and legal stress trying to get his license back and restore his reputation. And apart from his private practice, he was always also visiting counseling in hospitals and care homes and rehabs. I get back to the point. After recovering and getting into a normal life, as we all know, he then had that terrible accident, which he ended up in traction and which affected health issues, as Sam said, for the rest of his life. And then he lost Stephen, and then he lost his home. And he never, for a moment, didn't make an appointment, didn't keep an appointment, stayed resilient and funny. Last month, I called him and said, let's have dinner. And we did, and it was a lovely evening of recollection and nostalgia and friendship. 36 hours later, he was in ICU. I am so blessed that I had that dinner. If there is a heaven, some great vast blue beyond of the afterlife, I know the first thing Stuart will do when he gets there. Well, apart from finding Harry Nilsson. He will find an office and he will put a notice on the door, the doctor is in. I love you, Stuart. I will miss you as everyone in this room. I only wish you could feel the love that is in this space. Goodbye. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carlton Walker. Carlton Walker. I met Stuart because of the accidents. He could not drive any longer, so I'm a designer, but I drive Uber on the side. And I picked him up one day, and he made a few rounds to his patients, and went back to the Palisades, Vons, Gelson's, I'm sorry. And he said, I want to go home, but they won't allow me to do more than 3 trips. I said, well, let's change the destination. I'll wait for you. And after that, I've been with him now for almost 6 years, twice a week, sometimes more. Stuart and I he called Larry David and JB Smooth from Curb Your Enthusiasm. And that was true. That's who we were. He loved his friends. He loved his sons. He loved his patients. The only thing that was greater than his intellect was his compassion for people. And I'm grateful that I was in his life towards the end. So that was it. That's all. You know, I forgot it. Barbara.
Marjorie.
Marjorie, I'm sorry.
How do you do this? Hi, everybody. I'm Marjorie, and I'm a drug addict alcoholic. I'm going to be the downer here. Okay, I'm just going to do the best I can because I don't want to go home without speaking because Stuart would be pissed at me. You know, we have Thanksgiving coming up and Christmas coming up, and I'd already received the calls from Stuart. Where are we doing it this year, Marjorie? You know, who's coming and what can I do? You know, so, I mean, I'm keeping all his voicemails. Stuart's been my brother through thick and thin. He walked me through 3 marriages and 2 divorces. You know, he would call me every day for long periods of time, like Rich said. And I say, Stuart, I can't talk. I can't stand the phone this long. He goes, oh, yes, you can. And yes, you will. And he would drop names and he'd gossip and he'd want to know all the details about, you know, my life and what was going on. And then we made a pact. And we said, okay, great, we're going to have dinner every week. And we did. We had dinner every week at Il Soleil. And then we had Dougie. Remember, Dougie would come. I'm so nervous. What's his name? Last name? Doug. My Sharona. Anyway. And thank you. And, you know, we would have that dinner every week. And he would want details on either, you know, who I was married to at the time, or, you know, what everybody was doing or wasn't doing. And you had to watch what you said to Stuart, because you knew that it would then get broadcast, right? You know, and I loved him for that. And I knew that about him. And he would always say, Marjorie, I don't have a sister. You're it. And he really was a brother to me. And I just feel so bad at the end. I did the best I could for him. But, you know, God is in charge. And he would call me and he'd say, this isn't working, this body part and that body part's not working. And all I could say to him is, Stuart, you got this. We're going to get through this. Because he's Mr. Resilient. If you think about it, other people said, you mean you couldn't knock this man down? He was like those things, you know, that you knock them down and they pop back up, right, Kim? You know, it's this person breaks his heart, that person insults him. You couldn't insult Stuart. That's another thing. You just could not insult Stuart. And he just popped back up, you know, knock him down, take his. I was the one who called him and told him, Stuart, the fire is half a block away from your house. You got to get out now. And, you know, he was, no, it's not. We're good. We're good. And I'm going, no, it's right now, you know, and got him out. And you, sir, his driver, he loved you. Thank you so much for taking such incredible care of him. You meant so much to him. You know, that car accident took away his health, if you think about it. And after that, it was just really one thing after another. But that soul and that spirit of Stu's was there. And if you needed him, he was there. And at the end, when I was talking to him at the hospital, thank you, Kim, from the bottom of my heart for putting my phone up by him every time I called. He would say, how's that COVID, Marjorie? Are you okay? And I was like, wait a minute, man, you got bigger problems than my COVID. That was Stuart. He just always cared. And you know, and his mom, you know, God bless Betty. I loved Betty. And we had, you know, Stuart and I had standing jokes with Betty. And you know, him and I have a picture at home. Stuart and Betty could do the best resting bitch face. You know, it was kind of like, meh, you know, isn't this great? Isn't this food? Meh, you know, and they did the best face like that. And you know, I don't know, you know, the loss is all of ours. That's all. I know Stuart is on to, you know, bigger and better things, and we're all going to see each other on the other side. And it makes my heart feel good to know that he'll be there. He'll be there when it's my time. And, you know, he loved all of you. I just want to say that too. I probably know a story about each and every one of you, you know, and that's okay, because it came from a place of love. And I'm just so grateful that I could be a part of his life and that he called me his sister till the very end. And he thanked me for taking care of him. But you know, I'm not God. I'm not God, Kim. And I just want to thank you for being by his side and his children, and he loved you, his grandson. You know, we all lost somebody very, very special. We lost somebody very special. And Jeff, I want to thank you again publicly for getting our chip in his hands. That was my baby Joe's idea. And I'm so grateful that we got to do that at least. And I, you know, all the nights he would call me and I'd be in a bathtub really angry about Joe, and he'd go, Marjorie, he's your husband. I know him better than you. And he's a good one. And the problem is you. So somebody, but that's my brother. And I could hear it from him. So, you know, God, he'd love to have been here. That was what I said to my sister. You know, he would love to have been here. He didn't like to miss out on a party. And this, you know, and this is a celebration of that man's beautiful life. I'm just lucky that I got to spend some time with him. Thanks.
Thank you, Marjorie.
Thank you.
This come off? I don't have a loud voice, so I thought this might be better. I'm Dr. Deborah Holland. I'm a psychotherapist, and I've known Stuart about 30 years, give or take. And we first met when we were each seeing one of a pair of brothers. And they were having problems getting along, and they had a business. And neither one of them would go to one of us to work out whatever was the problems. So we decided that the four of us would get together in my office and we would do family therapy with Stuart and myself. And that was such a privilege because I had, up to that time, a really hard time finding a good psychiatrist. One who was knowledgeable about medication, was a good counselor, and had a heart, and also respected me. And so we got to work together. I got to see him. Like, this is someone I'm on the same page with. This is someone who I can have fun with as we're doing this counseling. And this was somebody who's really, really good. And so I started sending my people who needed meds to him, and he started sending people to me. And we would talk over the years, and as you've been hearing, and as you all know, he was kind and supportive and fun and very quirky. And I used to tease him that he was like the Energizer Bunny, because he would take these hits in life and he would pick himself up. And I know his family and his more intimate friends probably saw the struggles. With me, he was always upbeat. And he'd say, "What can you do?" And he started talking somewhere after maybe it was around 10 years or so, he started talking more about his family and his sons and then his grandson. And I watched that love that he had, and he started talking about so much more, and that beautiful, beautiful bond that you all created with him and the support. And he came back from so much, and I know the fires and the losses and then the loss of his son took a toll. And this last time when I heard he was in the hospital, there was part of me that was hoping, but there's also part of me that had a really bad feeling. And I told some of our mutual clients, brace yourself. And when I heard he had died, aside from my grief, my very concern about his dear family and friends and the people he worked with, my next thought was, who will I send my people to? Who will I trust? And I've been in the process of looking this week, both for my people, but also for Stuart's, and interviewing different people to find some good referrals. But whoever that person or people will be, they won't be Stuart.
Hi, my name's Chris Crosby. I first met Stuart at his house at a party, and Carol White was there and a bunch of movie starlets. But we got together after that when I was breaking up with my own marriage, and I was living at Stuart's house for 2 or 3 months. And Stuart was all the things that I'm hearing everybody say now. All the wonderful things. I think to myself, I'm a little man. He's a big man. And I know that when I was there, one of the things Stuart aspired to do would be to be a songwriter. And so we wrote a song together called Tell Her You Love Her. It goes like this. For love to exist, for love to endure, well, I can't remember it. For love to endure, chances are slim with broken promises and alibis. Oh, darn. I got Parkinson's and it's a little difficult. But at any rate, we went ahead and finished the song. And I found it kind of amazing that here's this guy, a psychiatrist with all the credit and the stuff that he did for people. He really wanted to be a songwriter. And that was amazing to me. You know? Anyway, we finished the song. It's called Tell Her You Love Her. I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, but Stuart and I wrote it together. And we did other things together. And I'm lucky to have known him. I'm lucky to be able to be here and meet all you people. And I'm lucky to have known Stuart Lerner. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I met Stuart many years ago.
Excuse me.
Oh, thank you very much. Put it on the right side, too. At Cicada Restaurant, at a dinner that I was invited to because of Ian, who was here somewhere, I don't know how many years ago.
Right there.
Oh, there you are. Ian, do you remember, how many was that, 30 years ago at Cicada?
I picked the check.
Well, yeah. Well, Stuart fought for it, but you won. And at this dinner, I met Stuart, who was he was like a brother that I never had. He was funny. He was scientific. I could do jokes about tertiary hemoglobinuria, and he would get it. And he could do stuff with me. And he was never my personal doctor, but once I had a sinus infection, and I called Stuart up, said that I needed an antibiotic, and he, sent me a prescription, which wasn't necessarily his job, but it meant a lot, because that could have been bad, Get a sinus infection leads to bad things. As everyone here, I loved Stuart. He was a grand spirit. He was kind and funny and wise, and I treasure all this that we are all feeling at his loss. All of us who knew Stuart is nothing compared to the sadness of all the people who never got to know him. So God bless you all, and I love you, Stuart.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name's Aman. I've known Stuart for 15 years. I used to meet with him every week at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday. I used to pay him for those meetings, but he was my friend. And then I learned after 15 years he was secretly giving me psychotherapy. One thing I want to say, I'm going to go a bit in reverse chronological order. I spent a few days with Stuart at the hospital because I loved him so much. And there's one thing he did with me that we hadn't done in the 15 years we knew each other. I was talking to him about something, and he just grabbed my hand, and he held my hand so tightly for 15 minutes, and he wouldn't let go. And both his hands were getting sweaty. He was holding me so tight and with such effort. And ever the communicator, I knew he was telling me something. He was telling me to be strong, but at the same time, he was telling me he knew I was there and he appreciated it. And the following day, Kim texted me to tell me he was, it didn't look good. And I went there and I couldn't say bye to him because I knew it would be very hard for me to continue without him. And all I could tell him was about Shohei Ohtani hitting 3 home runs and, pitching 6 innings and getting 10 strikeouts. It was a performance he would have loved to have watched. We talked a lot about sports. I used to play baseball as a kid right up until college. I played rugby. I loved football. And I loved ice hockey like crazy because I grew up in Canada. Little aside, I want to explain my getup a bit. This is the clothing we wear as Indians to show respect and to show mourning. I was born in India, but I grew up in North America. But one of the things I always battled was, do I disappear as an Indian person? Does that part of me just get buried and go away? And Stuart taught me, no, it didn't. I don't have to be invisible on that score. He helped me a lot with my career. I was an insane piece of shit when I met him in 2007, and he nursed me back to health. And, as a doctor, he was one of those few people who opened up about himself. He told me secrets about himself, as part of the therapeutic relationship. Like, I don't know if you know the story. I can never look at shag carpeting the same way again. And, you'll have to find out if you don't know what I mean, but a lot of you know what I mean. So even, and especially orange shag carpeting, when I look at it, I'm like, oh God. And then, the other amazing thing is, I work in the legal field, and he used to repeatedly tell me the stories I was telling him were scaring him because of all the legal problems he'd had. But he still put his head together with mine, and we sorted through, my personal issues and how to handle them properly. In other words, he taught me to be a better professional, because my job, like his job, is to help people out of their worst moments. And if I've got my shit together, I can be a lot better at what I'm supposed to do. I want to talk to you a little bit now about the people that were in his life and who he loved and who loved him. He talked to me about you. I feel like I know you. And he talked to me in a sense that, and told me in a way about you that always helped me. And it was always about helping me when I was with him, which is why he was so incredible. I knew he was going through horrible things this last year, and we talked about them briefly, and he told them about it, not so much to complain or commiserate, because he's one of these guys that always accepted that God's plan is the best plan, and he was totally okay with it. I mean, he lamented the loss of his house, but he knew that, look, that was God's plan. And he didn't complain, and he just soldiered on. And that's what he taught me to do. It's more than just rolling with the punches. We talk about it sometimes, you hear it a lot in the rooms, you surrender to win. And that's what he taught me to do. He loved his sons like anything. I was raising, two pre-adolescent, adolescent, and now 20-year-old sons, and he would give me examples of what he did and what he had to cope with, to help me. And Sean, he loved you and your brother, and I've gotten, close to you, and I feel really connected with you. Kim, he talked to me about you so much and about how you helped him, especially with the technological problems, and that made me jealous, because like, you shouldn't be getting tech support from someone in Vietnam. You should be getting tech support from the Indian guy. And I was always like, hey, I can help you with this. He's like, no, Kim's got it. So, I love you too, but a little bit of jealousy there about that. And then I have a bit of a weird story. He encouraged me to go to this 12-step meeting on Thursday. And, I used to go, and it was during COVID, and there'd be these like hundreds of boxes in this Zoom call, hundreds of them. And I would just sit there and not say anything. And I'd just hang out and I don't know, after a while of, dropping off quickly, before I dropped off, Marjorie goes, Aman, I see you. How are you doing, Aman? And just that little interchange made me go to those meetings more often. And it turns out that you were a person that loved him the most, and he loved you the most. And for some reason, you reached out to me. Fast forward to in-person meetings. I'd been going to these in-person meetings, same deal. Stuart would always be there telling me on Tuesday, okay, so I'm going to see you on Thursday. I'd say, okay, Dr. L, yeah, I'll see you on Thursday. And I'd be in the back, not talking to anybody. I'd just come in, 2 minutes before the meeting, jet out right after. And then one day I'm waiting to say bye to Stuart, and Richard comes up to me and talks to me for like 20 minutes. And that encouraged me to keep going to those meetings. And again, another person who was close to him and loves him, and for some reason, just out of the blue, reached out to me. These are the connections that are forged by God, and they stay. And even with his passing, we'll all remember him. I know the people that loved him will, just by what I've heard, and I'll remember him and love him too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Harold?
You good here?
Yeah, I think it's good, Dad.
Hey everyone, my name's Harold Owens.
Wrap it up, Harold.
Huh? No. Oh. Hey, I just want to give a shout out. I feel like a piece of my heart sitting over there, and I know Stuart's with us. I've known Stuart for 35 years, in 3 different areas. Professionally, I first met Stuart in a psych hospital where he's in practice. I was early in my career, and he was at the nurse's station writing down, orders for nursing. But most importantly, I knew Stuart as a recovering guy, and we went to some of the same meetings for many years. But in another area, I got to give a shout out to Stuart, because I was fortunate enough to work for a couple of charities in my career. Music Cares for 23 years, and then in 2019 I met Zoe Friedman over there, and she started an organization called Comedy Gives Back for comedians. Stuart loved comedians, by the way. You guys know all the celebrity comedians Stuart knows. It's phenomenal. But anyway, Stuart was one of the first guys that we called because we did need a psychiatrist. We needed a mental health professional. He did the same thing when I was at Music Hairs all those years. If I had a client that really needed a psychiatrist, and Stuart would always be there. And you guys have to know the rates that were he provided us. They were like nothing. They were like, it was just. It's going to be really hard to replace Stuart as a friend and one of my dear brothers. It's also going to be very hard to replace him for people who need psychiatrists. And, I'm with the therapist that was up here before. It's a big loss to the community, and thanks, you guys.
Thanks,
Can you hear me? Yeah. I know how to work these things. I'm Joe W. I'm an alcoholic. Hey, Joe. I wasn't going to share, but I have to because Harold did. My first memory in rehabilitation was waking up and Harold walked in. And he said, hi, my name's Harold. I'm going to be working with you. And I said, well, I don't know how this works or anything. It's my first day sober. And are you going to sponsor me or what? And he said, no, actually, I'm from the psych ward. They sent me over because they didn't think any of the counselors could handle you. And we've been best friends ever since. Somewhere along the line I met Stuart. The big book of AA talks about those who came before us and the difference that they made. Bill W. and Dr. Bob were the two guys that figured out how to stay sober, how to not drink. And that was the beginning of AA. I went to Dr. Bob's house in Akron, Ohio, where they wrote the big book. In Dr. Bob's kitchen. And later, I got to see the manuscript that they wrote on and scribbled all kinds of things in, and other people had ideas, and the manuscript was a mess. But that was everybody's input, and that's what went to the printer for the first edition. And it's kind of like looking at the whole Holy Grail in retrospect. But Bill W. and Dr. Bob started, I guess, the tradition of those who came before us and making a difference. And I say that all because in my community, there are men who came before us. In my life, it was Bob Timmons and Dallas Taylor and Dougie Feiger. And these were all guys that made a difference. And they came before us and they passed along the tradition of helping somebody get sober. And Stuart is now in that club. Stuart, as nuts as he was, made a difference. He made a big difference. And I want to say congratulations, Stuart, you did it. In the great tradition of AA, you made a difference. And I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank everybody who is nameless at this point, after over 100 years. But everybody who passed along that they found a way to not drink. And that's one of the reasons I'm here. And somehow it makes sense. You know, it's so simple to do things one at a time, one day at a time, keep it simple. Wake up and remind yourself you're an alcoholic. Ask your higher power, God, to help you get through another day. It's so simple. And if you do that, you can stack up continuous days of sobriety. And then you learn how to be sober. And then eventually you help somebody else get sober. And you make a difference. It's so simple. If you're in the program and you stay close to the program, which is helping another alcoholic, having a higher power that runs the show, you don't. And I forget that sometimes because it's the 21st century, things are going really fast. And I may not have time to get down on my knees and ask God for help every morning. And by about noon, I'm in trouble. When I forget, it's so simple. And when you do work the program, go to meetings, help other alcoholics, there's a place you go that I call In God's Grace. And the big book talks of that. When you're in God's grace, you could tell that person at a meeting. You can tell that person. If somebody's speaking, you can tell that person. They got it. They're working the program. And Stuart always, to me, was in God's grace. It was not ever about him. It was helping somebody else, making a difference. So there's a man in God's grace. You know, I'm in God's grace at the beginning of a tour. I'm part of a finely crafted team, and we're going to go out and play music. And the same thing, a week later, I'm surrounded by assholes. Same thing. I'm not in God's grace. And we do it over and over again. And we have to go back to keeping it simple, working the program. So thank you, Stuart. You are now one of those who came before us, and you made a difference, Stuart. You made a fucking difference. You did. And God bless us all, and I'll leave it at that.
Anybody else want to say a few words?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this quick because I know it's getting hot out here. My name is Chip, not the one that he got for his 41, but I'm one of the comedians from Comedy Gives Back. Thank you, Zoe. She's the one who introduced me to Stuart. And the one thing that I've noticed about everyone who's come up here and speak is that they've said that Stuart is like family. And that's exactly how he was to us comedians in Comedy Gives Back. Just to me, he was like a second grandpa. He was amazing. He was no bullshit. It was the best thing about Stuart. The first time I met him, when the first session, he was like, why are you here? What's you have another therapist or anything? I was like, yes, I do have another therapist, but she told me to read the Bible. And he said, she's stupid. I loved him. I loved him. He was no bullshit. He was amazing, and he kept you accountable. And that was the one thing that I really loved about Stuart, and the fact that everyone here was so close to him and felt like he was family means so much to me. And I know, just like you, he's going to live on in your memory and hearts for the rest of our lives. Thank you.
This should wrap up our short session of an unplanned visit to the cemetery. Anybody else? Going once?
Here comes
You got in just under the wire.
I know.
All right, here you go. Keep it close to your mouth.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening or afternoon.
We are Carl and Christy, and we're both fortunate enough to know, like Christy said, I think we maybe known Dr. Stuart the smallest amount of time, because once his house burned down, we're concierge where he lived. So we definitely got to experience him. We love him, appreciate his energy, his love, the laughter. And it's been a little difficult because I haven't lost anyone who I saw more than half of the week, because I work 4 days a week. Christy works 5. So we're grateful for the experience with Kim also, and got to meet some of his family and nice clients also. And we just wanted to share our love with him, with you guys, and we're glad that he touched y'all. We knew that he did. Because like you said, Dr. Stuart would tell those stories. And we told him to write a book, but he didn't want to be in trouble. So we just wanted to get up and introduce ourselves and say that we loved him. It's been, what, about 10 months maybe? And we're going to think about him all the time. Christy even had a, last week, right after he passed, she was on the elevator coming down, and it stopped on his floor, and nobody got on. And she called me. I was already off. I'm like, yep, that was Dr. Stuart. That was definitely him.
So I'm one that always gives a little motivation every day of the week, and
yes.
I just love that Dr. Stuart was just always so encouraging and just so thoughtful. You know, he would ask just, how's your day going? I only got 5 minutes, but how's your day going? Okay. I got to get back upstairs to my client. And he just always just made time to make sure we were doing okay. And, you know, all was well. He loved his caramel coffee. I would give him extra coffee to take with him for later. And just so funny. And just, we're going to definitely miss him. He was just so tenacious. Like, I just love his guts and his just never quit and just keep on going, you know? And to me, that was the greatest thing about him. He just never gave up. He was just always a go-getter and just always just about, you know, just keep on going. So we're going to miss you, Dr. Stuart.
And party and have a good time, because he definitely lived his life and touched so many of us.
There's another good friend of Stuart's. I'm going to try to get the microphone over to him so he can say a few words.
I'm Tommy. Try to talk as loud as I can. I know it's been long. Yeah, I love Stuart. Stuart's been a good friend. Louder.
Louder. Can we hear?
You know, he was there for the last 34 years for me. You know, whether I was in the program or out of the program, I've been for the last 20 years. He called me 1 minute after my father passed away, about 9 minutes. Up until the time he went to the hospital, we spoke every day after that night, at nighttime. Of course, late at night for like an hour or two every single night. And I did have the privilege of being there when he took his last breath. My arm was on his chest. and I was in the room. So that was a big honor. But let's all go home and celebrate Stuart. This is definitely a big celebration. It's definitely be a celebration of life. He deserves it. Thanks. Thank you.
He talked about you. I want to thank all of you for coming to celebrate Stuart's life.
Appreciate it, man.
He was something special. No question about it. And, I think we've all said what we're going to say, and we'll think about him today, days going forward. And he was lovely. He was smart. He fought the best he could.
Didn't he love you?
Loved me.
Talked about you.
Well, now that's what I wanted to hear from you. Thank you. All right, we're signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we be here for that, or is that later?
Here we go. No, I'm looking for Dave. This gentleman will know the answer.
We got your shady. In a shady in a good way. Yeah. No shady business. No shady business. Yeah. Well, thank you. Hey, thanks.
Excuse me. Excuse me. We're going to lower the casket. And traditionally, if someone wants to take some of the dirt and add it to his lying place, you're welcome to do it. So line up.
Oh, yes, yes. I'm going to stand right here. Sean. Right. Wow. Go get Steve Bird. Oh, you know how to do that? How are you? I'll make yes, very good.
No, I was watching in Vegas. No, I don't do that. What's up, Matt? Jay's fight back? No, I'm a Dodgers. Montreal. There's no Toronto for me.
Yes, I know the name.
I feel like yes, you're right.
Yeah, I got to play with it, not just listen to you talk about the Lakers.
I feel like you're used to it.
Yeah, you too. All right, take care. Jill.
Julian.
That's what he said.
Okay. Where's Gail?
Okay, so folks, you can line up on either side. We can make two lines. Traditionally, you would place 3 spades of earth into the grave, or 1 if you prefer. Different interpretations, but you please can come forward. I would encourage the family to go first.
Sam. Dad?
This is my brother right here. I'm going to put some of his ashes in there.
in the dirt when you got this in.
Yes. Yes. Couple times.
We love you, Stuart. See you
Yes.
up there.
No plus. Yep. Yep.
Take it in.
Usually you put them on the marker, and at a later date, when all these flowers go through the way, the rock will be there. The rock will, the pebble will be there a long time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've got some for Stuart if you'd like.
Sorry.
Okay, I would say that is for your folks. These are stones from Jerusalem. So that's the vault. The casket is the vault within the vault. It needs to be covered, and it keeps it covered. Keeps it covered. Oh, really? No, maybe back east. No. Or
I've done mine. Mine's all ready. I'm all ready to go. Mine's all ready to go.
Good to see you, Mark. God, it's been years. I know he kept seeing you this whole time, right? I'm sorry I didn't mention He's doing other stuff too. He did. Yeah, he was like 300 pounds. Last time I saw him.
Get in here. Good to see you. Take a shot. 30 degrees. Shuffle.
Luke, Lerner's Law.
No, I loved it. I loved it. We're all question.
I'll tag along on lunch so we can get